Hello students. So the purpose of this lecture is to use what we know about sine and cosine, which is a fair amount at this point, to learn what the graphs of sine and cosine look like. And I'll start with sine, then I'll use sine to get cosine, and maybe we'll even go so far as using a machine to check these results. So let's start with this. Let's use the fact that we know trig functions at several inputs to compute sine, to sketch a graph of sine and cosine. So let's start by just plotting points. So let's start with this. So by looking at your unit circle, which hopefully you have in front of you, you see that the sine of 0 is 0. The sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. The sine of pi over 4 is square root 2 over 2. The sine of pi over 3 is the square root of 3 over 2. The sine of pi over 2 is 1. And then it starts counting back down, right? The sine of 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 3 pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. The sine of 5 pi over 6 is 1 over 2. The sine of pi back down to 0. And let's actually go through and look at the unit circle that was used to generate those. I'll be back in a moment. Great. So there it is. And what you have from your own notes is a completely filled in unit circle, but those were all of the points we used. The sine of 0 is 0, sine of pi over 6 is 1/2, sine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, sine of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2, sine of pi over 2 is 1, sine of 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2, sine of 3 pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, sine of 5 pi over 6 is 1/2, sine of pi back down to 0. So hopefully that agrees with what we have over here. So I want to graph these, so to do that I'll need some decimal approximations. 0's 0, 1/2 is 0.5, 1 is 1, 1/2 is again 0.5, 0 is 0. By using a computer tool, I won't do that here, but by doing so we see that the square root of 2 is approximately 0.7. And in fact you can do better than that, but if you look at this graph, since I'm going to do it by hand, I'm not going to be able to record information better than the 10th place anyway. And the square root of 3 over 2 is approximately 0.9. So let's go ahead and sketch that information using the graph provided below. So you'll notice the x values aren't evenly spaced. That's because these x values aren't evenly spaced. So let's fill this information in. So we've evaluated at 0 and got 0. We evaluated at pi over 6. So let's even look at this graph. So there's 0, there's 1, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashes between 0 and 1. So it looks like each of these are at a length of 1/5 or 0.2. So this one's at 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. So sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. That's about there. Sine of pi over 4 is approximately 0.7. Sine of pi over 3 is approximately 0.9. Sine of pi over 2 is approximately 1. So we get a graph that looks about like that. And then we go back down. Approximately 0.9, approximately 0.7, approximately 0.5, 0. And we do know what the remaining inputs are, but let's not bother with that. Let's use this. We know that the sine of x minus pi is the same thing as minus the sine of x. And let's just go ahead and think about that. So let's actually write that this way. So minus the sine of x minus pi is the same as the sine of x. And let's think about what this means graphically. So right here we see this means, right here we have the graph of sine of x. Over here we have also the graph of sine of x, but shifted right by pi. and reflected over the x-axis. So that means I can, if I take the graph of sine of x, which I've generated some of so far, if I take exactly this graph and shift it right by pi, and then reflect it over the x-axis, I'll get the graph of sine of x. So I don't have to sketch any more points. I just need to take this graph, shift it right by pi, and reflect it over the x-axis. That will get me approximately this. Nice. And let's go ahead and put that down. So that's the graph of sine of x between 0 and 2 pi. Goes up, goes back down, down, back up. Now, the sine of x plus 2 pi is the same thing as the sine of x. That means I can shift the graph of sine of x left or right by 2 pi, and I'll get the exact same graph. So this graph should continue to the left following the same pattern. It should continue to the right following the same pattern. That might look like I've drawn them so they don't look the same, but they should be drawn so they look the same. It's hard to draw. And this gives us the graph of sine of x. So this apparently is what the graph of y equals sine of x looks like. And let's check that by in fact having a machine do the same thing. So let's do that really quickly. All right, we're back. So I've used a computer to graph y equals sine of x. I get a graph that looks something like that between 0 and 2 pi. As I enlarge the domain, so that's from negative 26 to 26, the graph just repeats that same oscillating pattern. So this is a reasonable graph. So let's carry on. Let's look at that graph and study it and see some properties. Let's start with the maximum. So looking at this graph, what's the largest y value you see? So you see a bunch of local maxima. They're at these points. But each of those corresponded to that local maximum shifted some. And they all have the same y value. That y value is 1. So the maximum value is 1. And for emphasis, maximum value means I want an output value, so it should be a y value. Well, what x values produce that y value? Well, this one happens, well, that's kind of bad. This y value happens exactly halfway between 0 and pi, so that's at pi over 2. Occurs at x equal to pi over 2. And at this one, well, that's exactly halfway between 2 pi and 3 pi. So, I don't know, let's call that 2.5 pi. If I continue the graph, which I will right here, I would see something like that where there's an x value of 5 pi. So this x maximum looks like it's halfway between 4 pi and 5 pi, also known as 4.5 pi. Writing that, 4.5 pi. Oh, it disappeared again. So there's 5 pi. There's where that other max is at 4.5 pi. The next one, 6.5 pi, and so on. So it looks like there's a maximum at everything that looks like an even multiple of pi plus half of pi. So in general, it looks like there is a maximum at everything that looks like 2 pi k plus pi over 2. And as a reminder, that's the x value. What is the minimum value you see? Well, I see a minimum here, a minimum here, a minimum here. And all of those have the same y value of negative 1. So the minimum value is negative 1. And let's look at what x values produce that minimum value. I see one right here between pi and 2 pi. So I guess that's 1.5 pi. There's one right here between 3 pi and 4 pi. You'll have to excuse my inability to draw a straight line, but that looks like it should be at 3.5 pi. You would see the next one, I guess, at 5.5 pi, 7.5 pi, 9.5 pi. In general, well, it looks like each of these are at an even multiple of pi, but then shifted left by pi over 2. You could say odd, but it's easier. Well, let's write it down for an odd. So it looks like it's at an odd multiple of pi plus pi over 2. So in general, these are called x equal to, what's an odd multiple of pi? Well, an odd number is 2k plus 1, pi plus pi over 2. Simplifying that, it looks like that's the same thing as 2k pi, even multiple of pi, plus 3 pi over 2. Very nice. Is this function even or odd? Well, how do you test that? Oh, this will be interesting to do electronically. So how do you test if a thing is even or odd? You fix the origin, so fix the origin of this, and then rotate it okay, I can't actually do it. Fix the origin, rotate it 180 degrees, and see if you get the same thing back. And you do. Alternately, what you can do is, there's a point on the graph. If I take that point and reflect it over the origin, yeah, I get a new point on the graph. That's what it means to be odd. So is this function even or odd? It is odd. And in fact, we already knew that. We already knew it was odd because we already knew that the sign of negative x is always the same thing as negative the sign of x. Cool. So this is an odd function, which we see from the graph as well. Where is this function increasing? So let's try to trace that out. So, starting at the origin is a good place to start. So it appears to be increasing at the origin. The slope seems to be positive. And it keeps on increasing until we make it to pi over 2. So it's increasing from something to pi over 2. And let's go back and see how far we can go. It looks like back here it stops increasing. And right, that's halfway between 0 and negative pi. So that's negative pi over 2. So it's increasing from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. It is also increasing from here to there. So that looks like 3 pi over 2 to 5 pi over 2. It's increasing again from, it looks like 7 pi over 2 to 9 pi over 2. And let's up to 9 pi over 2. It looks like there's some negative numbers here that we haven't accounted for, so let's try to draw those. So this is, down here we see negative 5 pi over 2. And up here we have negative 3 pi over 2. So it's also increasing from negative 5 pi over 2 to negative 3 pi over 2. Did I say decreasing? I hope I didn't, because I meant increasing. Where is sine of x decreasing? Well, apparently it's decreasing the rest of the time. So let's just draw those out. It appears to be decreasing. And let's actually include some dot dot dots. Clearly this pattern extends in either direction. And you could write some sort of formula for those endpoints, but I think we won't. Where is sine of x decreasing? So it's decreasing the rest of the time from negative 3 pi over 2 to negative pi over 2. From from pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2. From 5 pi over 2 to 7 pi over 2. and so on. Let's try to locate the taunting points. So it looks like it changes from increasing to decreasing at negative 3 pi over 2. It changes from decreasing then to increasing at pi over 2. Sorry, negative pi over 2. It changes again at pi over 2. It changes again at 3 pi over 2. It changes again at 5 pi over 2, and so on. So it looks like it has a taunting point at any odd multiple of pi divided by 2. In general, it looks like it taunts around at anything that looks like x equal to an odd number, so that's 2k plus 1, times pi over 2. So it taunts around at anything that looks like an odd number times pi all over 2. Cool. So that tells us lots of things about the graph of sine of x. And that's really nice. Let's stop there, and then we'll talk about the graph of cosine in the next video.